Takehiro Tomiyasu has been one of the success stories of Arsenal this season. A player on the edge of the team last year has proven himself in different positions and locked down the left back spot when he has been fit. And against Bournemouth, I think it showed exactly why Tomiyasu has really taken to a light this season and been phenomenal and needs to stay in Arsenal's team for the future. Why do I think this? Well, let's get into it. Now, the immersion of Tomiyasu this season, I'd say, has definitely been one of the surprises for Arsenal. He's obviously been at the club for a few years now, but had never really locked down any spot in the team. And last year, he only started 4 league games the whole season and spent a lot of the time out of the squad or injured with a knee injury towards the end of it. And it was quite clear that he was never going to be a centre-back for the team, and it was quite clear that he was never going to fit in right back. He is not as good as Ben White in that position, and him being right third and to be the right back backup, that seemed like that was the best he could do. Now, this season, that has definitely not been a problem for Arsenal. Ben White, even throughout knocks, has played in right back and has been locking down that position now for a while. This means that we kind of had to play Tomiyasu in another position. And with the emergence of Timber getting an ACL injury, unfortunately, on the first game of the season, and with injuries to people like Zinchenko throughout it, it was quite clear that he was going to be the one that steps up and has to play a left back. Now, luckily, he is insane at left back, considering he is right footed and he shouldn't necessarily be comfortable on that side. As a 1v1 defender, he has often proved that he is very good. And although he only has 1,500 minutes this season, Arsenal were really starting to get a lot of momentum with him in the team, even getting player of the month in November. Unfortunately, obviously, national team and a calf injury put him out for a very long time. But in the last 3 games, he has started again in left back, and you have now started to see him back within the squad. Now, one of the main reasons why he still works in left back compared to other players is the fact that he is able to come into midfield and invert very easily. This is a struggle that we've had for people like Kivior, and then when we have people like Zinchenko there, he can't do the one-on-one defending part. And obviously, this is why you got Timber in, but with his injury, Tomiyasu is definitely the best backup in that position. Against Bournemouth, Tomiyasu worked in a double pivot mostly with Partey. This allowed people like Rice to go up, and we've already spoke about how good of a game he had, and people like Odegaard could come deeper if they really needed more help in there. Tomiyasu often actually did really good movement as well. He was very good at moving away from the defender or close to where Partey was going to pass it, and he really helped with the progression of the passes in the midfield. When players like Havertz come deep and Odegaard are near to him, it often felt like quite a fluid movement of Odegaard coming across and Tomiyasu being able to pass the ball off to him. And this definitely shows with the attacking intent that Tomiyasu has shown recently for Arsenal. He has become also very good at going up that left side in a winger position to try and help create a bit more depth for Arsenal, especially when people like Trossard go into the middle. In these positions where he'd even come deeper, he'd also do brilliant through balls looking for Havertz the whole time, showing he's got a great passing range and can do a lot of different things in there. And that is proven by the stats. In the game, he did 1 out of 1 accurate crosses, which was early on, 2 out of 3 long balls, which were to Havertz going through, 5 passes into the final third, and he did 5 touches in the opposition box. So he is getting himself up there in attack and is helping, considering he is known as a 1v1 pure defender. And it is quite clear that Arteta wants very intelligent, smart players, especially in his midfield and his defence, and Tomiyasu definitely applies that. You can see that sometimes he really made great progressive runs from deep, and when Rice would come deeper to maybe progress the ball to Trossard, who would be out wide more, Tomiyasu would always operate in that half space going through the middle. Now, this is definitely something that's been coached at Arsenal and he's improved a lot at this year, being able to overlap with players like Saka on the right side when he plays out there, but also the ability to overlap with people like Trossard and come in the middle. He doesn't mind being that attacking option, and that really helps us in the long front. That is something that we probably wanted Timber to do and make these runs from deep, and this is something that Tomiyasu has done to a very good level when he's come in. Now, unfortunately, I don't think sometimes his decision making in these attacking threats is the best, but obviously with someone like him who's probably not attacked too much in his career as being a defender, especially in the Serie A for Bologna, it makes sense that he would take his time and it wouldn't work as much just straight away. But at least he is being confident and getting into these good positions, elevating us up the pitch. And he's not only an attacking threat on his feet, but he's also clearly an attacking threat from set pieces. There was a few set pieces against Bournemouth where we specifically made it to go to Tomiyasu, and he'd head the ball back across where we didn't score the chances, unfortunately. But obviously with Tomiyasu being over 6 foot, it's a bit like Kivior. It gives you that physical and tall threat that Arsenal want, which makes us so good at set pieces in such a physical team, which is definitely dominating European football right now. And this obviously is down to a lot of duels. Obviously Arteta wants to win duels. He wants the team to be very physical and basically win all their individual battles. And in this game, Tomiyasu definitely did that. He did 10 duels he won and he lost 4, winning 4 out of his 6 ground duels. But in my opinion, more importantly, he won 6 out of his 8 aerial duels. So he's getting the headers in deep or from attacking positions, which are helping Arsenal physically in the air, which is a very important thing, I guess, especially against teams like Bournemouth, who are very good in the air. And everything I've explained so far, which he showed against Bournemouth, but he has showed in other games, basically just gives Arsenal a lot more versatility and a lot more promise in a lot of positions. If Ben White inverts or moves up into an elevated position on the pitch, we can go down that right side with him overlapping or coming deeper. This allows Tomiyasu to move into the back three as a centre back, which we all know he can do, and be able to win physical headers and duels back there to try and put off the other team from getting there. And because Tomiyasu and Ben White have played a lot in centre back, this is something that Man City have done as well. When one of the fullbacks pushes up in an attacking position, you often trust the others to be moving to a back three because they all have been centre backs before. And if Tomiyasu goes up, it's the same the other way. Ben White can slot into that centre back position and do the same things, winning duels and being very physical in the air. And it just allows Arsenal to be a lot more versatile in positions, and I think this was the whole idea of Timber in the first place. And it is shown that he is a great 1v1 defender. I know Tomiyasu has made some mistakes on the ball. He made one, obviously a big one against Man City last season, but he also did a little one against Chelsea, which they didn't end up scoring from. But now that I think his rustiness is finally gone and he seems to finally have recovered from that injury against Bournemouth, against Semedo, who's a very accomplished winger, had a really good season. He often did very well, and he was a very tricky winger and kept 1v1 in him and kept winning the ball back and getting Arsenal up the pitch. His defensive work in this game was phenomenal. 1 block, 4 clearances, 2 headed clearances, 2 interceptions, and 12 defensive actions while making 1 recovery. He's not going to be that guy that runs around picking up the loose balls. He's going to be one that making the loose balls happen with the defensive action. And overall, Tomiyasu, I think, makes the team a lot better when he's in there because we don't have Timber. I know Kivior's also had a very good season. He's been a little bit shaky at times, but they all have, so we can't really judge it on that. And Kivior can't invert, so it does make the tactics a little bit worse in my opinion. But it doesn't mean he's a bad player by any means. The same with Zinchenko, it just works in a different way. But when you've got hard physical teams that you want to be able to defend against, Tomiyasu has to play, and Tomiyasu will definitely be playing against Manchester United next week because he is definitely the best left back that we have fit for that option. And overall, I think people forget about the excellence of Tomiyasu because he wasn't playing for 2 to 3 months with calf injuries, yet he still played for Japan on international duty, which I know annoys a lot of people. He was so good before that, I think people forget he got player of the month for us one of the months in November and was brilliant that whole time. And I think he's come back, and I think he's looked on and off, but I think finally now the last few games he has been excellent and he's really got back to that top potential that we know. And considering he can still play on that left back position where he's never really played in his career that much and he's always right footed, deserves a lot of credit. I've seen other left backs such as Emerson Royale play against Liverpool and he looked completely out of place because it's not his side, and it's definitely a lot harder when you're a fullback and have to play on the other side, so he deserves a lot of credit for adapting and helping the team when we needed it to. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about Tomiyasu's performances and let me know what you think about Arsenal's remaining games and who you should play. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.